Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. It's Sunny Man on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you another episode, another Let's Play episode of Dawntide, Ranzo's Path. So yeah, before we jump into it, just wanted to let y'all know that our Patreon is out for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel, get some awesome rewards like permanent access to our community Discord server and full access to upcoming Not Safe for Work videos. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Alright. The air is thick, a little damp. Dust sticks to objects like a second skin. Where Ranzo's room felt immaculately preserved, this place feels lost to time. Core, bit of a stally down here, Mom.
That's why I need you to help me out with it. I just need you to get down those boxes on the top shelf.
Right on. Ranzo pulls a stepladder out, tucked behind the back end of a car covered by a red cloth. The ladder looks rickety. You right on that, Ranz? It's fine. I'll hold it. I stand on the other side of the ladder, holding it firmly in place with both hands. Ranzo goes up and down it a few times, taking boxes and placing them atop an unplugged mini-fridge. Stop looking at the way his shirt rides up.
I'm not.
You're a parody of yourself. Ranzo passes the last of 3 boxes down to his mom, dusting his hands.
Whew! Oh, thank you, Danny. Let's get these into the living room, shall we?
Agnes leans, takes the smaller of the 3 boxes. Agnes leans and takes the smaller of the 3 boxes. Ranzo takes one of the larger ones in both hands. I pick up the one at the top of the fridge. It's heavy and I need to spend a while balancing it properly before I can follow the 2 of them up the stairs. My back twinges. You're out of shape. The 2 of them are out of the room as I place the box down to readjust. A few quick stretches, brace, and squatting down to get a better grasp of it, I spot something jammed into the side. A small plastic fishnet. Ooh. The rock presses hard to the soles of my feet. I regret taking off my sandals, but Dan's dad said they'd slip if I kept them on. A clear plastic bucket swings in my hand as I use my other to steady myself, climbing the wave-bashed stone.
Riley, hurry up!
I clasp a small blue fishing net between my teeth and scramble forward. Coming! Reaching the top, I see them all gathered around the largest rock pool I've ever seen. 2 dogs and a wolf, all gray. The adult is the scruffiest of the bunch. Ah. There's the last of the adventuring team!
Come on!
I take the net in my left hand and waddle between cracks in the stone. As I approach, Dan is hunched over the pool with a net of his own. I found a hermit crab! I hold the clear, upside-down castle up proudly. Some fish flit back and forth in the current with a couple of ghostly prawns. In one of the turrets buried in the sand, the legs of a crab poke out of the white shell.
I got a bigger one!
Eliza lets me look inside a round bucket. A large red crab slowly sidesteps around the base. Beady, stalked eyes survey the strange creatures above it.
Whoa. What did you get, Dan?
He's working on it. The scrappy gray dog is poised, net in hand, waiting patiently to strike. His dad places 2 hands on a large stone and braces himself against the sides of the pool. Okay, ready, Dan?
Ready, Dad!
Take it now. Water time. This game can have a very ethereal quality to it. 3, 2, 1. The rock slowly moves, opening up a crack beneath it. A cloud of sand erupts. Now! Dan's net springs forward, jamming down to the depths. His elbows jostle with something, figuring out its weight.
I got it! Riley!
I hold out my bucket as Dan hoists the little net from the water. It bends its plastic neck, water arcing with a clumsy haul. The catch plunges into my sandcastle bucket. It brings with it scraps of seaweed and disturbed sediment. The water clouds. Nice job!
What is it? What is it?
The water thrashes, still muddy with debris. I hold it up to the sun and we all wait for it to settle.
Told you it was big!
A silhouette is visible first, a looming giant within the castle walls. Slowly, more of it comes into view. A fat, dark brown body, small spikes around its mouth. It flicks its fins and spins around, settling momentarily each time. Dan, Eliza, and I stare in awe of the behemoth. You're a brave one catching that. He tousles the scruff of Dan's hair, who remains transfixed on the scene within the bucket. Sunlight tints the dull water. The fish gently turns above the smaller fish, the prawns and the reclusive crab. It's like we've lifted a chunk out of the ocean itself and frozen it in time. The calm is mesmerizing.
Can we take him home?
You're not allowed.
Why not? Because I live in the sea. It's salt water. We have salt in the kitchen. We can put it in the fish bowl.
Eliza's right, Dan. The sea's where they live. As I should say, they follow the giant.
But he's so pretty.
It's not really pretty, but it's cool. I think he's pretty. It ceases its spiral, facing Dan directly. It's as though it hurt his compliment. Dan's expression lifts again. I don't think this fish has ever heard someone call it pretty before. The water splashes again. Sediment kicks back up as the creature jolts into the turret of the castle. It thrashes and bites. The fish and the prawns push up against the see-through walls. They must be terrified, trapped by something you don't understand. Dan shrieks and steps back, the bucket falling from his frightened hands. It turns sideways into the water, and all the creatures scatter to different corners of the pool. A fat shadow darts back to the boulder lair. The plastic castle floats, half submerged in the rocking water. My heart races. Dan covers his face, muffling his distress. Eliza stands to the side. Dan's dad kneels beside him, a firm hand on his shoulder. Hey, hey! Dan stays as he is. Show me your face. He pries the pup's damp paws from his eyes. They're big and blue and full of tears. He chokes on his words. Come on, chin up.
But he...
That's how things are in the sea, Danny. The big fish eat the smaller fish. I feel my own throat tightening. I remember the nervous little crab hiding away in the most secluded spot he could find. There you go. Cracked one open. Not secluded enough. You're both softies. Eliza, that's rude. His attention turns to me, sighing as he picks the bucket out of the pool. Water pours from a crack in the base. She's right, though. You boys ought to toughen up a bit if you're going to be real adventurers. Dan pulls himself to his feet, wiping a sniffing nose on his arm. Don't cry, Dan. It's just a crab.
Sorry.
Here. Taking his son's hand, he guides him around the edge of the pool. Tip yours out, Eliza. Let's head back. My shoulders shiver as I walk beside them both. Eliza jumps the biggest cracks in the rocks, down to the water's edge. She moves expertly, not spilling a drop from the bucket. Sitting at the edge of the earth, Eliza takes a last look at the red crab that she caught. It paces in the safety of its confines. No predators to snatch it up. She turns her eyes to the vast expanse, dense and blue. Creatures far bigger than that fish waiting beneath its misty skin. Her ears go flat against her head. She lets it go. Took your time with that, Riley. Not too heavy, I hope. The other two boxes have been set down on the coffee table. It's fine. Look what I found. Setting down the box, I hold up the net.
Oh, I remember when you boys would go to the beach. Couldn't keep you away from the rocks.
Ha! Yeah, I remember that time. We saw a snake. No. Of course you do. He slithered out a hole in the cliff and went back in. Big black diamonds on his back. I shake my head. You gotta remember that. We ran all the way back to the beach. I don't think I was there for that one. Psh, you were definitely there. You should go rock pulling this week. See if we can find another one. Maybe tomorrow. I spin the little net between my fingers. Bet I can catch more than you. You're on. While we've been talking, Agnes has been sorting through the other boxes. She scours over each piece of paper she can find. A few old council tax forms lay in a discarded bundle on the floor. What's this in aid of, Mom?
Well, it's about your father, dear.
She folds a piece of paper idly in her hands.
I've been speaking with Richard about getting the necessary things together.
For the memorial?
Well, yes, the memorial, of course, but for his side of the will, too.
Ranzo's tone sharpens. What?
I had a lot left between the both of them, and, well...
She kneads at the shawl around her neck.
Well, your father is technically no longer entitled to any of it.
Go on. Richard needs to go over some of the papers. They're technically in your grandfather's name, so... Doesn't he have them already? Agnes sighs, flipping slowly through another stack of dulled papers.
He told me he looked, but he couldn't find them. Your dad kept some of Grant's things here, so it's the next likely place. I'm sorry I didn't tell you earlier. I didn't want to upset you while you were heading over.
I feel like an intruder in this moment. Ranzo stiffens his back. It's like, no. Granddad's stuff is in there too, isn't it?
Some things, yes.
Only give Richard the papers if you find them. Nothing else. His tone is unusually stern.
He might have to take all the boxes, Danny. There's a lot to go through. She was his mother, Danny. He needs all this to sort things out.
But Granddad wasn't his dad. You know he's looking for his stuff. Agnes tweezes the curly hairs at her temple, eyes briefly exasperated.
He's coming over later with the car. He'll be staying for dinner.
Her voice sounds resigned, but my quiet presence feels like shrapnel in a wound. Leave. You can't leave, it would be rude. Look, me and Riley, we're heading to town. And when's Richard coming over?
Around 6. He's looking forward to seeing you.
Sure he is. I'll be here for it. I can help you sort through more of this later.
Thank you, dear. You boys have a nice time in town. You're welcome to come for dinner, too, if you'd like, Riley.
Thank you, Mrs. Levant, but I think I've got plans for dinner tonight.
That's nice. You doing things with Joe and the girls? Actually, it's not...
No, I'm meeting someone else.
Oh, we'll have a nice time together.
Thanks. Looking at Ranzo, I tap my palms against my thighs. Should we be off? Ready when you are. Right, it was nice to see you, Mrs. Agnes.
Lovely to see you too, Riley. You know Danny doesn't have to be back for you to stop by and say hello. With your mom and dad up country now, you should come round for something proper home-cooked.
Thanks, I'll take up that offer sometime. You should. You won't. I close the door behind us. Ranzo walks briskly to the front gate. Whew! You alright? He holds the gate open for me as I pass by him. He closes it, then opens it slightly. He closes it again. Must be something wrong with the latch. It was nice to see Mom. What's Richard looking for? Don't worry about all that. You still got to show me around town. For sure. Get a pasty down you. Get a pasty down you. You'll forget about it. I wonder if anyone else fancies joining. Could ask, I suppose. I know Sal's busy. I'll try Joe and Billy. I type a message to both of them. Outside Baker Favreau's, Ranzo and I stand with a paper bag, piping hot with the smell of savory pastry. Coming up the cobbles of a side street, a little bird in an oversized sweater catches his breath. Was on, lads. Was on. Hey, Joe. Any sign of Billy? Billy's 20 miles out of town on his bike. Sal's busy, too. Oh, all right. Before Joe can catch his breath, we're pacing down the main street. Just the three busketeers, I'm afraid. Should have brought the mandolin, Ranz. I need to practice a bit. It's been back at the place the whole time. Maybe we should have a jam this week at mine. Yeah, that could be good. Though, do you have room for a drum set? Nah, sold it years ago. I've got a sampler I can use, though. You fancy that, rye bread? I need to practice, too, for sure. Talking of music, you know anything about sea shanties, Ranz? I'm trying to track down an old one at work, but just got a melody. If it's not Drunken Sailor or Lever Johnny, probably not. It's considered boat nerd stuff on ships. A bit looked down on. You're wearing a blue and white striped shirt. It's not that boat nerdy. Is that not boat nerdy? I like stripes. Ranzo looks around the buildings, the walls patchy from wind exposure and repainting efforts. Right then, what's new? Joe outstretches a hand in a grand arc towards a vape shop, Cloud 9. Ta-da! Remember what this used to be? I'm not sure. Wait. His bushy eyebrows pinch together as he mulls it over. It was the, old-timey sweet shop, right? Mr. Simmons. Joe's talons click at his palm. He speaks in the tone of a TV game show host. Correct. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our gold tier patron, Armor. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to our ultimate tier anyway. If y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to not safe for work content as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!